edition of my channel, Wider Perspective. So in today's video, and just in case you may have thought that the cost of living is becoming more and more scarce, it's becoming more and more worse by the day. Well, people now have resorted to recently showing their paychecks online. For some of you who may want more evidence, well, listen to these clips. As I get ready to show my screen, you just had to listen to this.
I love watching paycheck breakdowns. So, I got paid on Friday. Let me tell you guys how much money I made. And please, not too much. I get paid every 2 weeks. I know it's not a lot, okay? Yeah, on this upcoming period, I only worked, it's like about like 38 hours a week. I got paid $1,144.85. Y'all, that's every 2 weeks, y'all. Fuck. First, I got to pay my car note is $973.84. That's leaving me with 171 with 1 cent. Now, y'all, I have a Jeep, and Jeeps be giving people problems and stuff, right? So my car warranty a month is $154.04. So I have to pay that. So that leaves me with $16.97. Y'all, damn, fuck. I can't even buy me a plate of ribs, macaroni. Okay, y'all, I told you guys I've been doing DoorDash to make it ends meet, right? So on my DoorDash card, I went hard this week. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I made $599.62, right? So boom, I gotta pay for my wisdom tooth, right? I got my wisdom tooth removed, right? And it was $5,000. It was 4 wisdom tooth, $5,000, right? The insurance only covered $3,000, so I had to pay $2,000 out of pocket. So I paid $62 a month. It's been like a year. I'm almost done, like a little bit, just a little bit. So that leaves me with $537.62. Yeah, now it's gas, and I have to put money away for gas every 2 weeks. So basically, it's $130. Every week is $65 in gas. That's a lot, but goddamn, I should have got me a Toyota. Ugh. And next is my credit card, y'all. My balance is literally $900. Like, I maxed that shit out. So I just pay the minimum of $40 so I can't like afford to pay the rest. So that leaves me with $407.62. That's kind of crazy, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. And I gotta pay my Afterpay. And y'all, Afterpay, y'all, I made a mistake. I started buying shit on Afterpay. But this pay period is I only have to pay $13.37 on Afterpay. It was on Fashion Nova, and I only bought like one thing. But then, y'all, Affirm, y'all. I literally pay $52 a month plus, y'all. Y'all, after I pay my credit card, whatever, right? That leaves the balance to $367.62, right? Boom. Okay, cool. Now I gotta pay Afterpay. I bought something on Fashion Nova. I only bought one thing, and that leaves me with $354.25. Then I have Affirm, which is I pay $56.03. So that leaves me with $298 with 22 cents. Now, y'all, I fucked up, y'all. I have a debt with Affirm. I owe like probably 1,300, something like that. My first payment was on Amazon. It's $131.75. That leaves me with $166.47. Now I got an other payment for Affirm is $131.54. That leaves me for 2 weeks with $34.73 for 2 weeks, y'all. Let me get the fuck off here and go on DoorDash, okay?
See, what her main problem is, and I can tell she's in her 20s, perhaps her early 20s, or maybe a little bit younger. Either way it goes, I'm trying to say, I can tell she just not too long ago graduated high school. See, what her main problem is, she likes to live frivolously, as in likes to spend her money on things that are useless, that things that she really doesn't necessarily need, but she likes to at the same time keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. How could I prove, and why do I say that? Due to her auto loan being over $900. Well, auto loan, folks, do you know is that much money? Shoot, that's equivalent to the price of the average 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom apartment. And to be honest, when how crazy, much more crazier the cost of living is nowadays in this year 2026, you will be lucky to be able to find a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom apartment for even that cheap of an amount. And that's speaking from the base price, that speaking of aspects of the base price, because judging from my research, the average 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom apartment ranges now at roughly 1,200, give or take. And this is on behalf of whether you stay in a, let's just say hypothetically, you may stay in a apartment in a pretty upscale suburban neighborhood. That's how much you're looking to spend monthly. And this is just based on the base price, excluding all the utilities. And judging from my understanding, I'm just putting two and two together. She makes roughly no more than $14 an hour after explaining how she's usually left with her take home pay being $1,100. That's the pay after your gross taxes are taken out. You know, your federal taxes, social security taxes, with the state taxes, all that. And then it's also based upon how you may fill out your W-4, as in whether, because you could also have an option to fill out your W-4, whereas you won't have to worry about taxes taken out every pay period. You'll get the take home pretty much the whole amount before taxes, only to the following year when it's tax time to not get anything back for your refund, or vice versa. You could also choose to have taxes taken out, such as the taxes I just mentioned. And if you may sign up for health, dental, and vision insurance, that's even more that you will have taken out of your check. If you may have a job, whereas you may have a labor union at your workplace, where you will have to pay labor union dues every 2 weeks. Let's just say, for instance, $25 every 2 weeks as part of being part of your company's labor union to help protect your job, you from losing your job. All in all, it's rough out there, folks, to the point where you have people making upwards to $32 an hour who are struggling just as much as this young lady. Anyways, let me show some more clips.
How much you guys think I make at McDonald's? 2 weeks. I'm a manager. Don't let my shirt fool you. Oh, we don't make shit. Me and my husband were both managers at McDonald's. And for 2 weeks, I only bring home, where's it at? $1,100. That's 2 weeks. So as manager, in a full month of working, I bring in, what, $2,400? People are always like, why are you guys so broke? Just our rent alone is $1,500. Our car payment is $500. My car insurance, because I was an irresponsible addict for so long, that's like $400 a month. We live in Phoenix, Arizona. My electric bill is like $200 a month. You guys just add up like our regular bills. We only have like a $300-$400 median after that. We still have the grocery shop, gas, have money to live. We don't, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. My husband makes a little bit more money than I do. Tiny bit. Not much.
I got a serious question. How the f is it that I work out in sites like this? Blue collar work, right? We building shit like this. Valve cans, pipe, backflows, concrete, all this shit. Blue collar work, you know what I'm saying? How the f is it that I work in this? And I'm a heavy equipment operator, so that is what I operate. That is another one. But yet, I'm still struggling to live in America. I'm building shit like this. Right now I'm in Kissimmee, Florida, but I'm building shit like this. Shit like this, dealing with shit like this. Digging down on meters and raising the boxes to curb level and everything. How is it that I'm doing heavy labor jobs? You know, because that's what they say. This is what the old generation says. You got to work hard. You got to get you a good job. This is what they say. Work hard, get you a good job, or pick up a good trade. How is it that I work in something like this and got 6 years of experience in this, make a significant good amount of money when it comes to gross pay, but yet I'm still struggling? And I'm living below my means. I don't have Netflix. I don't have any of that shit, right? Just enough to pay the rent, just enough to pay my insurance on my car, barely can get food. Food stamp says I make way too much. You know what I'm saying? How is it that I live in America working heavy labor, blue collar jobs like this, 6 years of experience, and yet I can't live in America?
This is what I'm struggling with in America right now in my 20s. Why is everything so expensive? Why am I making more money waitressing than I would make using my college degree? I barely have a life. I have 2 days off and I work Wednesday to Sunday, doubling just to pay my bills. At 22 years old, all of my bills are in my name. I have no help. How are y'all affording housing? In Myrtle Beach, a 1-bedroom apartment is $1,500. How are y'all getting insurance, going to the doctor, getting medicine? And then some of us are trying to be TikTok influencers. Who knows where that's going to get me? Me and my boyfriend are saving, but we barely see each other during the week, and it feels like we're working off for nothing. Do we need to move somewhere for a better job opportunity that we don't know about? Do any of y'all really know what you want to do with your life right now? It is so scary being in America right now.
Hey, you guys. So
Now, I would continue to play the rest of this short, but I'm not trying to drag by being over 17 minutes long. Anyways, and speaking of this here lady who happens to be a physician, I'm going to show you her in an individual clip just so I won't drag this video along that much more. Anyways,
back to my paycheck transparency, right? So this is what I would get. Like, say I didn't miss those 3 days, say I showed up, whatever. This, and mind you, this is not even a full 80. So my check would be about $1,811 after taxes. It's going to be $1,604. Even with that, right? This is going to be my take home, so to speak, maybe give or take a little bit more, a little bit less. I'm still in a drastic deficit. Whether what I posted for you were the main bills. We're not talking about if my kids take soccer or a summer program. They can't. That is not even an option for me. Okay? Because remember, I'm not even budgeting the groceries in. Okay? Not at all. I don't even budget the groceries in. That is just a rough guesstimate. I just have to get what I can. Sometimes we're eating at the Dollar Tree. Sometimes I get a pack of chicken. It is what it is. This is the reality of single mothers in America. This is the reality of the working class. Back to my paycheck transfer.
and then just when you thought it's hard being a single parent and working a job at the same time, just when it seemed like $1,600 after cut was good money, because not that long ago at all, if we could go back to as far as the year 2010, that was a very good amount to survive on. Even if you look at it from the perspective of having your very own place, not having any kids, having a car loan, the car loan may have been, I would say, $395 a month. Having to pay that, having to pay your rent, with utilities, that is, then having to pay your phone bill. Your phone bill may happen to be, I would say, $70 a month. You will still be able to survive, because the cost of living, going back to as far as that year 2010, wasn't nearly as crazy or high as it is nowadays. Anyways.
hey, you guys. So it's currently, I think, like 8:45, 8:41. I just got home from a shift and I got my first residency paycheck. So I figured I'd come on here and open it with you guys. So here goes nothing, I guess. Let's see. They got all these whatchamacallits here.
Okay, here we go. First look.
I hope you're hungry.
And
for nothing.
Okay. Okay, so gross earnings is $2,227.68. Net pay is $1,774.26. Not horrible. Is this for 40 hours? I don't know how much this is for. Okay, so it has my hourly rate. My hourly rate is $39.78. I don't know how many hours this is for though in total. So maybe I'll have to do some math or read the email that they sent. But yeah, this is kind of exciting. My first ever residency paycheck. And the only reason why it's hard copy is because we don't have anything set up yet. But yeah, see you guys next time.
My name's Hannah. Come budget my weekly paycheck with me. I am 30 years old. I have no children and I'm a phone actress. So let's break down this paycheck. So the total was $2,380. I immediately took $500 out in taxes and put that aside. Then I put $1,400 towards my credit card. A lot of my bills are on there, so I pay it off weekly. Then I put $100 towards my car payment. Then I put $140 away for my meal services I have delivered. $155 towards Chewy, which is all my pets' food for the month. Then my internet, which was $76. And then I'm left with about $9. So this week was pretty to the bone. Not every week is like that. So make sure you come back because every single week it's different.
And whether you notice or not, it's like with the more older you get as an adult, the more money you need to survive. I have personally noticed that by me being a guy that's 44 years old, as opposed to when I was as young as 34. How what I also looked at as a lot of money as 34 years old is hardly nothing nowadays due to, like I keep on stressing about, the cost of living. And it's like we'll never, when how the system is designed, we'll never ever be able to keep up with the cost of living. Even on behalf of a lot of my highly educated people, my people in college degrees. And as a perfect case in point, if you look at the lady in the last clip who happens to be a doctor, shoot, she makes a little bit over $39 an hour, but look at how much her gross pay happened to be. Hardly nothing. If you look at it in terms of having rent to pay when that, or even worse, having a mortgage to pay for the same amount of her gross pay. Think about how you will have to get some other kind of side hustle just to be able to survive to the next pay period. And I already showed in a previous video how even doctors are catching it, of all people. When at one while having a profession as a doctor used to be, that is one of the best professions and highest paid professions that anybody could come across. Not only that, but I equate being a doctor nowadays, judging from the last clip alone with the female physician, as the value of a Mercedes-Benz nowadays. Remember how for such a long time, people used to put Mercedes-Benzes on such a high pedestal to the point where people hardly ever look at having a Mercedes-Benz. They equate that now to being no different than having either a Chevrolet, a Ford, or a Chrysler, due to how Mercedes-Benz is, and this is just from my personal perspective, have seen lost their values over the past and pardon me, because I do stumble across my words from time to time, which I'm still working on. They seem to have lost their value as a lately, especially if you compare them to how prestigious a Tesla is nowadays. Even your average I would say Kia and Hyundai are even more prestigious that is than the average Benz, actual Mercedes Benz or average Mercedes Benz. That is.
I just worked 82 hours and I got paid. It's my first check. Let's see what's going on. Okay. Okay, it's not as low as I thought it was. Not feeling okay. I'm not feeling okay.
So her pay is roughly $1,128. For some of you who may have a hard time reading this here screenshot, it's $1,128.75 as a McDonald's employee. And I'm assuming that is where it is, because it, just judging by the caption, it's on behalf of every 2 weeks, 80 hours within 2 weeks, and then an additional 2 hours of overtime. Now, how can you survive off of just that little bit of money, off of them crumbs, as I like to call them from time to time, in this day and age, in the year 2026? To be honest, we're almost in the year of 2027, yet and still the pay of a lot of employers is at an all-time low. And for some strange reason, will remain at an all-time low. Think about it. Make it make sense.
This is how much I get paid now. This is how much I got paid from this week. And this is what I'm left with at the end of me paying the bill on the week I got paid.
Now, with that being said, and stop sharing, let me stop sharing my screen. With that being said, like always, make sure to like this video. Make sure to give me your perspective on how tough the cost of living is nowadays. So tough to the point where people are proving it from some of your highest paid professionals to some of your average everyday blue collar workers. Also, make sure to share this video. Make sure, the last but not least, subscribe to the channel. And I'm out.